Can you hear me well enough? Well, how about now? As it turns out, there are so many people out there that would answer yes to both questions, even if on the second one, it's a little less clear. That's what we would call mild to moderate hearing loss, but it isn't the kind of hearing loss that usually requires medical-grade prescribed hearing aids. The fact of the matter is that there are a lot of people out there who have a little bit of trouble hearing the world and the people around them clearly, but they aren't using anything to help their situation. There are a lot of reasons for this, including the cost and even potential stigmas around something so personal as the sense of hearing. And there's another reason. Maybe there are those people who don't actually know there are solutions available for their particular plight of mild to moderate hearing loss. That's where Sony comes in, bringing their decades of audio expertise to a category that might benefit millions of people. And I have been trying them myself. Hey, it's Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? These are Sony's over-the-counter hearing aids readily available for people with mild to moderate hearing loss. A big thanks to Sony for sponsoring this video. As such, this is not a review of these particular products, but it's really me sharing my experience with them. Also, this video is meant to raise some awareness because there might be people in your lives that can benefit from little hearing aids like this. People like my father, who I had wear one of the pairs at the same time as I wore the other. Okay, let me put these down for a second because I know what you're thinking. JV, you're young, well, ish. So why would you need hearing aids like this? Well, hearing impairment obviously can affect more people than just our elders or seniors. There are a lot of other reasons why mild hearing loss could happen, and it can happen to people of all ages and backgrounds. Simply put, pushing the limits of your ears can cause changes over time. So to know if you're actually experiencing some sort of hearing impairment, there is a hearing assessment that you can take online to find out for yourself. I took it myself, and while my results seem to indicate that I have very little hearing loss, I was still out to see how Sony's hearing aids could enhance that sense. Enter the CRE-C20, a pair of hearing aids that will kind of remind you of earbuds, only they're actually way more minimal both in size and in focus because they have one core function. That's right, these are not earbuds in the sense that they pair with a smartphone and then relay the audio from that connected device. Instead, the smartphone emits higher frequency sounds that the hearing aids will then pick up, and that's how they communicate through the app for setup and customization. Speaking of setup, that is where one of the core features comes into play. A self-fitting process that uses a setup process of beeps in either ear to build out a specific hearing profile for the wearer. The end result is a hearing profile that should amplify and bring better clarity to certain audio frequencies that I could be less sensitive to, while providing me some customization of my hearing experience, including various things like overall volume. That's one thing that differentiates smart hearing aids like this from other buds that just amplify sound. Sony's solutions here will auto-adjust their mic inputs based upon the surroundings, meaning that quieter sounds can get that needed boost, while louder sounds and background noise can get reduced in louder environments. So don't think of these as just simple amplifiers. These are far more sophisticated than that, and it's a great example of how Sony is bringing their audio product pedigree to a very important category. Okay, so I wore the CRE-C20, let me put them back in their case here, and I found them to be really comfortable for all-day use, which is possible with the rechargeable batteries that are in either unit and of course as part of the carrying case. Despite apparently having good hearing ability still, I was really impressed with how much I could hear around me that I might have had to put a little extra effort into otherwise. This is not to say that hearing aids like this would make you feel like you have a superpower, but if I could feel like I got some benefit from them, imagine how great they could be for people with actual mild to moderate hearing issues. Now, these hearing aids might be a little small for totally comfortable handling, especially if you're talking about someone getting on an age and they may not have as much dexterity to pinch these little tiny units into their ear canals. That's the reason why I wanted to get the CRE-E10 for my father. That's these right here, and my father, being a legitimate senior citizen, could actually benefit from a pair of earbuds like this. But it was worth having him try out these hearing aids because, well, like any family, we joke that my father just can't hear us clearly when we need him to. And the CRE-E10 take on the shape of regular earbuds, making them easy to understand and easier to handle into his ears during the setup. The experience is largely the same in the same app, with adjustments available for overall volume, for the crispness of the sound that's fed digitally into the ear canal, and even for the directionality of the mic's pickup. What made these a nice set of smart hearing aids for my father is the fact that this pair can route smartphone media and calls to the units, allowing them to pull double duty. And while it may have taken my father a little bit of time to get used to the digitized recreation of the world around him and, in particular, his own voice, his experience was actually much like mine. I even tried to speak more softly when I was around him as he wore the CRE-E10, and he told me that he could hear me and anyone else in the family very clearly. Do you think that they're actually benefiting you, even with mild hearing loss?
Absolutely. It would help me with my stage of hearing loss. At my age, it emphasizes, enhance, optimize my hearing capability, which I do believe whenever I hear something, it's so crisp and so clear.
It's important to note that Sony's hearing aids, and I've shown off 2 of them in this video, they are FDA approved, but specifically for people who have mild to moderate hearing loss, as I keep saying. And it is not made for people who have more severe hearing issues. It's at that point that you should take an assessment or take a hearing test to see where you may land and then see a doctor if necessary. For those who do use Sony's products for this purpose, they do provide free unlimited customer support as well, and they actually affectionately call that the Sony Hear team. And with all of this expertise and support in place, people who need the help with their hearing can really benefit from sets of hearing aids like these that are readily available over the counter. And so, there you have it. Some personal experience with Sony's over-the-counter hearing aids and hopefully raising some awareness if you need devices like these but you didn't know they were available. I want to give a big thanks to Sony once again for the education on these devices and on hearing loss in general, and for sponsoring this video. Let me know if you or someone you know uses a pair of these Sony hearing aids in the comments, and let me know what the experience has been. But from there, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you so much for listening in today. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and enjoy your tea, everybody.